How's it going, guys? So I am definitely behind in my Mandalorian reviews. So not only do I have to cover the episode that aired yesterday, but I also gotta do the one that aired last week, which is the one I'm gonna be doing here. So I was thinking about maybe just combining them into one video, but I was like, you know what? Just for the sake that I have all the reviews separated into single videos, that's what I'm gonna be doing here. So we start off with Mando arriving at the planet where the Jedi Temple is, or was in this case, and yes, there is a rock in the middle, surrounded by a bunch of ruins, and he places Grogu on it, and we see like this Force energy just surround him with this great visual. Mando goes to touch it and he gets hurt by it because it's like such a mystical force. And then who do we see? We see no one other than Temuera Morrison, Boba Fett, finally appearing and, finally speaks. And people are joking online that he's had more lines than he's had in the Star Wars original trilogy. I think sometimes people forget that he wasn't even the original actor. He was actually edited into those movies. It was actually another actor, another popular character actor with a lot of film credits. But his name has been erased from the credits in favor of Temuera Morrison's voice for the sake of continuity in those films. He did have a lot more speaking parts and dialogue in Attack of the Clones Episode 2 in the prequel films. And we see the return of Finnick, who was the bounty hunter that was in the 5th episode in the first season. If you remember, she was the one with the snipers. Remember when Mando was helping out this young bounty hunter who was inexperienced, but then he actually turned on her and shot her. And we saw somebody wearing a cape and boots approaching her fallen body in the desert. She was left for dead. I'd almost forgotten about the fact that that mysterious individual had approached her on Tatooine in that episode. I actually had to go back and refresh my memory. Like, I remembered who she was. I remembered right away. But I had forgotten that Boba Fett had approached her. We didn't know that was Boba. We kind of just assumed at that point that's maybe who it might have been, because there was rumors circulating at that point that he might show up. So he's asked for the armor in exchange for the safety of Grogu, and then the Empire just attacks full force. They send a bunch of stormtroopers. They send some of those droids that we saw in a previous episode that Gideon was looking at. You remember when he was in that room and they were all lined up in separate little chambers? They come, they scoop up Grogu, and they go off to the Imperial cruiser in the sky. Boba is in hot pursuit, but he's told by Finnick not to harm the child because they're holding him, and he doesn't know which droid is holding Grogu. This battle, though, with these stormtroopers was it was really a sight to behold. Seeing Boba Fett back in action, there was a lot of drama in that scene. I really like this. Like, everyone got time to shine when they grabbed Grogu. I mean, he was grabbed in the first season towards the end of it. Remember, with that cliffhanger when he was kidnapped by stormtroopers. It had some of that same feeling. But now he's in the clutches of Gideon this time. We see him being held aboard the Imperial cruiser. And I love the scene where he's just using the Force to just throw them from one end of the room to the other. I thought that was hilarious. That was a really comical, entertaining scene. That definitely had some of that Star Wars charm. But man, the fight scene, the comedy with Grogu, this was just some good stuff. And seeing the return of Boba Fett and seeing, just that continuity from the first season. I love that fact, how they go back to previous episodes and pull from it. So even though a lot of people are saying these episodes were one and dones and little separate adventures, I can see that, and I do like that format. But it seems like a lot of these stories are not one and done. We're going to see characters just like Finnick come back and reappear. Things that we might have not forgotten about. And I like that style of writing. I like that long-term thinking. And I gotta think that is the idea there. That they are actually going into this, the writers, and Jon Favreau and David Filoni, that they're actually going in there with this in mind. That they're thinking like, so we're gonna do this, and then make people forget, like, that was even that mysterious figure that approached him. Some people might remember, but you tend to forget because it happened, in the first season, which was more than a year ago. So it's really exciting to see them return to old concepts that are really not that old, but it's more of a surprise that way, because so many times we just have continuity from episode to episode, and that's good to have, but it makes it predictable. This style of writing makes it unpredictable, because we're going here, and most of the time the story deviates, and then it jumps back to it. It's more realistic that way. Because think about it, just, obviously this is not real life, but think about real life. It's unpredictable. It's not always going to be so straightforward. There's going to be deviations. There's going to be detours in life. And I like that Mando's path, his journey, is always having these forks in the road, that he's forced to another side of the fork when he doesn't intend to go that way. He has a mission in mind. But, that mission can't always be so clear-cut, because you have many obstacles, you have the Empire, and you just have other things that stand in your way along the journey. And now, I really like that concept. I think that really works, and it makes the show really exciting and unpredictable, as I said. And then we see Gideon with the Darksaber, and showing it to Grogu, and it's like this mythical object. And I'm not familiar with Rebels, so I don't really know that much about the Darksaber. I know it was in Bo-Katan's possession for a while, so I'm looking forward to learning more about this mystical item. It's got a cool look to it and everything like that, but I think it's actually kind of better that I don't really know much about it. It will make it more exciting when the explanation is given. So there you go, guys. Now that I've done this review, I'm off to watch episode 7, and I'm going to be providing my review for you. Probably going to post that up tomorrow. So I'll see you then, guys. And thank you all for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you know notifications when I post on my new videos. I want to thank all my patrons for your continued support, and thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time.